Good morning, Suraj Singh, civil engineer, Faridabad, Bharat. Regarding health, safety, and environment, HSC, a continuation of talk of this series, safety, that's called HSC, very significant from viewpoint of all those who are involved in sectors which are related to construction or which are not related to construction, say other sectors. And safety is very, very important from you can say point of view of working safe, point of view of doing safe, which is very important. HSE, H stands for health, S stands for safety, E stands for environment, and these are related to ergonomics. Ergonomics means a very significant topic or subject which relates to a utilization of your energy. Energies ergonomics means how best use you can draw from your energy that you have. That is, ergonomics means you should not feel tired as well, while you should be efficient. You should not feel embarrassed, you should not feel stressed, you should not feel strain while working. If you are feeling a strain, you are working, you are stressed, means there is something wrong with you. Means either you are not concentrating well, or you are not understanding well, or you are not enjoying happiness, you are not drawing pleasure in work. Work should give you pleasure. If you don't find pleasure in work, I cannot say that that's a good issue. If you are working well with happiness, you must get happiness. You cannot take work for granted, or it's a boring one. Work is always boring. But if you are an expert of your work, if you think work is your life, work is your worship, then it must give you pleasure, and that's very important. If you cannot give pleasure, means pleasure, it means you are missing something. You are not proficient in that line, and you feel that that is a burden on you. And if it is a burden on you, means you cannot perfectly work. It cannot be called worship. It's called just means you are forced to do that. And if something is forced on you to impact the force on you, and you do that, that's a good idea for being professional. You should draw pleasure. You should feel happy while working. If you are not working, you are sitting idle, you can never feel happy. You may feel happy, you may feel, oh, I am happy today because I don't have work, I want to take rest. But rest also has a limit. Rest cannot be continued forever. You have to take rest. Rest you are taking because you stress yourself. And if you have I can say you have exhausted yourself, you have taken rest, you are recharged. And once you are recharged, you have to use that energy because you cannot store energy for you forever. You have to use that and again recharge, use that and again. That's what cycle is. That's what mechanism body is. Your energy must be used for something, and when you use energy properly without wasting, it means got pressure on that. That's what HSC is meant for. Your life should be safe, your mind should be safe, your body should be safe, your effort should be safe, your mind should develop, your mind should get more and more knowledge, and your body should be fit for that work. That is called safety. HSE health. Health means if you are healthy physically, if you are healthy mentally, if you are healthy in your soul, that can lead you to, you can say, lead you to environment. Good environment. You are creating first environment within yourself, where you are living in. Within yourself is inside your body, external to your body, among other people, among society, among colleagues, among group. That's very, we can say, important to take into consideration. If you are getting respect from others, you are respecting others, you're collaborating, you're coordinating with them, you're collaborating with them, you're collaborating with them, collaborating with them. That's very important. Work is worship, we say. Work is worship only when you regard that. Work is for you. You have to do that safely. You have to keep yourself safe. You have to keep those working with you safe. And those working with you must keep you safe, and they must keep others safe. This is not one person job. This is not two-person job. This is all persons job. Safety means safety for one and safety for all. Safety for human, safety for machine, safety for system, safety for road, safety for every issue that is involved in your life. Means you should keep your eyes open, you should keep your minds open. Even you are walking, your mind should be, oh, this can lead to unsafe practice. If suppose something is lying, for example, nail is lying in your way where you are going, or some item or some obstruction is there that can stumble you, or that can stop you, or that can injure your head. that all counts to arrangement of safety. You have to be safe. This is nothing very specialized topic. This is included topic in your job. Maybe you do not learn that in university or college, you do not learn that, but by virtue of your practice, by your experience earned, you have to think that way, and that is very, very significant. Every time I explain, maybe we do not take that very seriously, but we have to take that seriously if you're taught properly, if you're suggested properly, or if you by virtue of your own experience, you know that, for example, you're driving a car, high speed driving, or you're not checked your tires. Let us say your tire is 3 years old, 4 years old, you don't take care of that. You think, oh no, it will go, it's quite good, I did not drive much, and it's okay, it's safe, and no problem, I can drive with that. Yes, you are right, you can drive with that. But you may drive with that to accident, because too old tire is also not good. From safety point of view, there is a limit for everything. If you do not change that tire and you're driving 120, 140, or it's very hot temperature, you may meet tire burst. In particular in summer, tire burst. Your car is overturned, or it is hit someone, or you lose your life. That is called safe practices. Means you have to take care of your equipment, your machine, all whatever you're dealing with in life. You have to take care of that. That is called safety. You are cooking food. You are cooking chapatis, roti. There is a steel plate. You touch that by mistake. You are doing ironing your clothes, electric iron, it's very hot. By mistake, you touch your wrist. It happens. We have to take care of that. Means sometimes what happens, we miss a lot in our life. We know this can happen, but we ignore due to, oh no, I'll take it. You take it lightly and it hits you. If suppose on your finger little mark comes here, or you feel very irritated, it's very hard, I will take some, put in fridge or something, take ice on this. You do that post accident, not be, had to take some precaution of that. This will happen to you. Had you used gloves, it will not happen to you. Or you had taken care without gloves, it will not happen to you. That is what I am saying. Everywhere, every day, every moment, a person used to safe practices, enjoy all activities, and a person who doesn't care, who ignore, oh no, I'll take care, and no problem, God is there, God will take care of that. People usually do that. No problem, God is there, will take care. It's ignorance. Why are you involving God? Why don't you involve your attention? God will take care of each and everything. God takes care of vacuum, and God takes care of each and every particle of air. What do you have to take care? Don't worry, you are also a product of God. God has given you mind, God has given you eyes, God has given you body. You have to use all these which are God. If you use them, God feels happy. Then my products, my proceed are doing what I use them. If you don't use your mind, God doesn't feel happy. If you don't your attention, God doesn't feel happy. You are taking care of your activity, you are taking care for others activity, God shall certainly feel happy. And oh, this is my production, my children, these are my children, they are very nice, they are taking care what I wanted them to take. And that is what I say. How you are sitting in chair, how you are working, are you sleeping in chair like this, or you are sitting straight if I'm working, or you are doing this and working. It depends upon you. But you know, upright position, the best one while working, it gives you minimum movement, minimum force, minimum impact, and you work comfortably. You spend only that much energy, which is the minimum requirement. And if you are sitting like this, oh, I'll work like this, you first of all, you may get pain in your neck, and you may get your joints pain or something, and your legs are something, oh, like relaxing position, I will work. It depends. And if you are sitting in a driving car and using your laptop in a different way, or oh, like so that, it also leads to body pain. That's all say. Ergonomics is a technique. It suggests which is best pose for you to work, how you should work. I was in a training. I was getting a license training, driving license training, and my one of my uh, lecturer, you can say instructor, just called someone, come on, or from all those candidates, come on and sit on this ramp. We do not understand what I mean by that. Okay, I voluntarily sat on ramp. Just take your belt, tie your belt, fasten your belt. I fasten, and then say, okay, be attended. I just put the button on, and I moved down on ramp and got an impact, very big impact. Very big shock I got that. And it was a very small ramp. How you feel? I said, it's very achievements. I got a shock much. Yes, that is what I wanted to teach you people. I just use this ramp for 5 kilometers per hour speed of car, and you got this impact. That is what I told you. Even if car is at 5 kilometers speed, and if you hit, this is quantity of impact you get. And when you're 120 or 100 or 160, imagine what shall happen to you. Yes, that was a good lesson. He taught in a demonstrating way. It is very nice. That's what I say. We have to be smart enough. See, if you work with protection of yourself, with protection of others, you enjoy. You see, nothing happen in fact. We pour whole slab without any degree of worry. We drove car 500 kilometers without degree of worry because we are nothing here. We aren't sleeping. We are caring about ourselves and about others. That is called achievement policy, target policy. It's not simply we just run for sake of running and then stress up and then that's not enough. Walk with requirement gradually. Don't rush. Don't overtake for sake of overtaking. Don't compete on road. If you walk briskly but constantly. No much acceleration. There are so many points which are called long race horse and short race horse. Short race horse means you are so fast but you collapse. But long race horse means you walk gradually with constant motion and you keep walking for long distances or traveling long distances. That's called. In Hindi we call lambi race ka ghoda and choti race ka ghoda. I'm just telling you for what we call ourselves. So I move to now. I'll put this text on this video. I could not do. After this talk, I'll put this text on the video for your information. But now I'm just speaking about that, and I just repeat what my major intention is about this. That is. This chapter today, what I'm covering in this today are safety points. That is, we say these are chapters. Hold on. This is environment control, waste disposal. I also included a lot of this in last talk on 17th. Sorry, on 17th November, there is a 16 talk, chapter 19 to 22 to 23 was also included that. I'll just go through that for refreshing, and then it is hazards control. Hazards controls, then confined space entry, and then road safety and vehicle operation. And before that, what we are talking about? We are talking about, that's very important. Every day I want to recall means what we are talking about. That is very, very important. And generally, we have to follow that. And this, for information, just advising that whatever I'm saying is not complete. It's not complete safety, health, and environment, but just indicative or reliability coefficient is not very high, but suggestive, because safety is different everywhere. Whatever applies to this location or whatever applies to this project doesn't mean it applies to all projects. Only you can say, what I want to tell is, what to say or advise is a method, a concept. It's not particularly applicable, but general. A way to understand, a system to understand, that is very important. And I'm just using saying building practice, for example. Buildings means buildings as well as work. It may be building a general one, it may be building in plants or facilities, or it may be somewhere else. It's, for example, construction projects, civil plants, facilities, this general title. And moreover, it is safety first. Safety first means it doesn't mean you're on top. It means just consider safety before doing something else. If you think safety first and then move, you are a smart person, you are a professional. And if you do something and then think of safety after making accident, there is no other definition than lamenting that person foolish, not professional. Safety first. And I have seen many safety engineers considering differently. Oh, I am first and you are next. That is not designation. For your information. Safety first title means you first take into your consideration safety and then move further. Once you decided safety, you can move further, no problem, because there are controls on safety, and then those controls of course work on other controls, and it is therefore not one man's responsibility. So there are designated people who have work on safety. Doesn't mean they are only indispensable people, they are for support, but everybody must take responsibility of safety for self, for colleagues, and for others. That is very nicely stated in a slogan which is no safety, KNOW, no safety, NOW, no pain. No safety, no pain. And if you replace this no and no, you bring no this side and you see KNOW other side, you see, and if no safety, no pain. You just start with saying no and no safety, no pain. Understand? If there is safety, compliance, there is no pain. And if safety compliance misses, there is pain. This is what that slogan is meant. And I think you understand it very well. Construction projects have been required since times immemorial. More than 50% budget is generally covered on development works, which involves construction projects pertinent all types. Engineers from all disciplines work on such projects. Millions of workers contribute to such development around the globe. Engineering has been very significant world to successfully deliver all such projects. In fact, generally, not very literate workers are involved in this world of construction. Many accidents happen, have been experienced on such projects due to reasons of carelessness or neglect of work or supervision. Everyone is interested to do fast delivery of products, or you can say rapid work, at risk of personal attention and not caring for life value. Created anxiety inculcates a feeling to make delivery at appointed date, even not available ample rest, even not availing ample rest and sleep properly, and that you can say enthusiasm is not recommended if it leads to accidents. Personally, I have observed that works are not given due adequate attention from safety viewpoint, though safety is too significant on such works, but is not given value to be strictly complied with. Many incidents have been reported regarding collapse of crane booms, scaffolding system, and buildings slabs during ongoing construction around world. Scaffolding system was a failure even on certain international airport during construction, but some transport system failures on supporting works have also been reported. Indeed, on certain plant facilities, safety care is intensively ensured even after so high level of safety care, bad incidents have been reported. I understand my duty to share my experience with you about safety requirements and engineering construction is fair so that experience dissemination be effective as required in profession of engineering and other fields. Included with this talk are many topics about project construction, safety respecting practical aspects on activities conducted. Only few statements are included herein that may cover a large scope of common construction faced by common professional engineers and particularly to help support problem solution that are faced by budding engineers. Many safety management statements have been included from policy making viewpoint to tools handling and then taking off to actual works on site. All activities could not be covered. However, an idea has been conveyed about questions that would be in my mind, more statements and methods about how to handle safety issues could be developed. Various chapters involved with methods, line management and site middle and executive management. Certain sketches also included for only information to apprise about various safety requirements. These chapters have been based on actual work affected in field as a part of engineering management without including imaginations. Many years of information have been used to produce this work. A model chart of organization also included for reference only, and certain activities have also been mentioned that require checks on site. I understand that readers would prefer to get this information if they don't have already. And I think that you shall not find such information on textbooks because textbooks cover only program syllabus and not practical aspects of life in engineering profession. Purpose of this proposal of talk is to assist those aspiring professional engineers and others who are unable currently to refer to certain practical books. And it's my interest, spiritual interest, to produce certain works that may help others, engineers, and CPW support. CPW supports means continuous professional development support, which is a very basic requirement these days. If you keep learning what's happening in profession or what's development ongoing, and you keep update on that, that is a better way to manage your job. Stock of other respecting a construction method statements, plans, facilities, procedures, and many site-based management documents under working and have been with me, which I'll take once these safety issues have been delivered. And particularly, construction method statement should assist actual work prosecution on sites and cannot be extracted from books or novels. Similarly, no text extra area available that provides comprehensive information about projects, prosecutions, strategies. It's always problematic for engineers to refer all such documents. Result to that lack of information leads to drop from management levels. And engineers are of course not used to record all such talks or writings, or you may say their experiences for publication purpose, because it's very difficult to find formal publishers to publish such work which are practical, which are not relevant to study, because they sell books only to students, and you will not find that these publishers selling books to professionals, and professionals are generally not interested in buying books for practical work, because who spends money and who has time for all this? First of all, you should not find time with those engineers to write something for future generation, and then they're not interested in buying books as well. I don't know reason behind that. There could be any reasons. They don't have time, they don't have money, or they are so busy in their works that they cannot afford this. Whatever could be reason, but ultimately, sufferer is profession, sufferer is work, sufferer is safety, sufferer is public. We have to take all this point into consideration. Yes, you don't have money, I agree. You're not giving very high salary, I agree. Even then, safety is important. Even if you don't spend much, or you understand, or you find practical experience, you transfer that experience. That's also not done. Well, I'm not going to the details, because that is something you can say unexplainable currently, and this topic, this talk doesn't relate to that. So I'll just speak now for the titles of chapters that I have taken into these talks, and many I have spoken, but I'll just repeat for your information that what we are talking about. Let us say safety policy, management system, site security, hand tools, first aid regulations, permit to work, housekeeping, safety training, emergency and evacuation plan, fire protection, PPE is personal protective equipment, then excavation safety, control storage, and the use of hazardous materials, incident reporting, lifting, rigging and hoisting, radiography operation, night working, scaffolds and ladders, temporary electric supply, welding and cutting, working at heights and fall prevention, abrasive wheels, construction environment control, hazards control, confined space entry, road safety and vehicle operations, reward system, compressed gas cylinder, heat stress, safety practices, disciplinary enforcement, safe work, inspection and audits, plant facility, project, construction safety relevant sketches. Out of this, I have gone up to that have been completed in talks, and that's up to abrasive wells and construction environmental control partly. I talked to chapter 23 and rest one, chapter 23 and rest one, that's construction environment control, that is 23 partly done, hazards control left, and confined space entry left, and road safety and vehicular operation left, and reward system left, compressed gas cylinders left, heat stress left, safety practices left, disciplinary work and fire enforcement left, safe work left, inspection audits left, and plant facility project and construction safety relevant sketches, which is just the link one I put in, and this remaining I'll try to complete in these talks, and not all, only few. I will take up charge control, confined space entry, road safety and vehicular operation and reward system, etc. I'll try to include as much as possible in this talk, and I'll put this text also on video, not put yet, because certain problem in this I'll try to put later on after this talk is finished. So I'll move to chapter which I discussed yesterday, and that is about you can say it's about 23. I'm sorry, it's 23. Yes, 23, and this is just hold on. This is yes, environment control and waste disposal. I had taken a lot of this, majority of this yesterday. I'll not go into that detail. I'll just tell you what I have taken yesterday. I've taken waste disposal. This title is environmental control and waste disposal, which I already discussed with you. I discussed the scope. The scope I'll repeat this better, and then I'll move. Adherence to requirements. This adherence to requirements in environmental control procedure shall minimize impact of construction activities to land, air, water, flora, and fauna. These requirements apply to all construction activities and applicable locations throughout camps. Preparation of access ways and work areas associated with installations under control of EPC subcontractor. Environmental control procedures describe requirements during construction for spill prevention and risk response, waste management, dust control, traffic, noise, and vibration control, and responsibilities, management, coordination, review of these environmental activities are to be implemented by site manager in coordination with quality people, the department and HSE department. And purpose, we have said environmental control procedure ECP describes environmental compliance activities for EPC contractor, construction personnel and their subcontracted enterprises. Objectives are to objectives of ECP are to define specific environmental activities required to comply with contract HSE specifications and other applicable environment documents, mitigate environment impact of construction activities, comply with local environmental protection practices. EPC contractor construction team shall comply with this procedure during construction, startup and initial operation of system. Each subcontractor involved in construction activities shall be provided with a copy of this procedure and required to comply with contents. The periodic reviews of procedure shall be performed to confirm its adequacy and procedure regularly updated as required. Then there are definitions. I leave and then I'll take up responsibilities too. Either I leave because I done it, responsibilities, and then instructions, etc. Then I'll move further to these tables. I explained to table environment issues, an EPC contractor control measures I talked, and this was about environmental issues. That was contaminated land, then it was protection of groundwater, and then it was site preparation and dust and noise, and then construction camp, as well as civil oil spillage. And then there was another table, all these details were shared with you in last talk. Then we can say all these were in details discussed completely. No need to review that. Then there was another one, and which was waste storage and disposal controls, which is all waste, then reusable, recyclable, then domestic waste, and then non-hazardous construction waste and hazardous waste, and that is and sanitary waste and the waste water, and then dust and emissions. So all these details were given. Traffic and then environmental friendly practices, uh, which is there, and I'll go to this one. This we can say after these tables. This the last table was sanitary waste and wastewater, etc. I'll start with dust and emission, which is left one in this talk. This chapter 23. This is construction. This is construction environment control, and this is here dust and emission. Most prevalent construction emission is fugitive dust. However, fugitive dust, you can say. Let's say again, most prevalent construction emission is fugitive dust. However, emission of carbon monoxide (CO) and related exhaust gases are likely to be released from diesel generators and other activities such as on-site painting, refueling of equipment, application of adhesives, waterproofing chemicals, and incomplete combustion of fuel in construction equipment. Note that none of planned activities shall cause release of hydrogen sulfide gas. Dust and emissions must be controlled during construction down to an acceptable level, and to achieve this should be no unnecessary idling of vehicles and machinery. Fuel, paint and chemical containers. Fuel, paint and chemical containers shall be kept sealed when not directly in use. All vehicles and construction plant shall be properly maintained to minimize excessive exhaust emission. When possible, engines shall be located away from work areas. Should problem arise, for example, with defective equipment which results in generation of fumes, gases or others on-site, for which operators shall be instructed through their HSE awareness training to shut down and notify respective supervisor to facilitate appropriate mitigation response. Dust shall be controlled as far as is practicable. Control measures can significantly help minimize dust in most cases, with exception of sandstorms. If a severe sandstorm occurs, site manager has to decide whether or not to close site works after dust storm has settled. Roads to be cleaned shall be cleaned. Fugitives, dust emissions shall be minimized by implementing following controls, which are as follows. Water spray shall be conducted at a frequency to keep surfaces moist. Treated wastewater or groundwater shall be used for this purpose. All concerned persons shall be required to fully cover with sheeting or spray water on open-bodied trucks, hauling sand, gravel or soil between on-site and off-site areas. All transgressions shall be immediately brought to attention of hauler concerned by site HSE manager. Failure to comply with this requirement shall result in offender prevented from accessing site. If sandblasting operations are required, shall be located and scheduled so as to minimize noise and dusting effects on adjacent work areas. Excavation phases not being worked shall, if required, be moistened. Formation level shall not be moistened excessively or better avoided. Deliveries of finely ground materials shall be using bag, form or stockpiled in specified locations where material can be suitably covered. Minimum drop heights shall be used during material transfer. Roads around site, particularly at site entrance, shall be monitored on a regular basis, shall be kept as clear from dust and dirt as is practicable. Should it require necessary, road in vicinity of site entrance shall also be swept. Construction personnel shall be required to enter site over prepared surfaces and park in designated lots. Should problems arise which result in excessive dust generation on site, workers shall be instructed through their HSE awareness training to notify their supervisor to facilitate appropriate response. Now, traffic. Construction area access Construction area access shall be limited to construction vehicles only. Non-essential vehicles parking on site shall be restricted to designated area. Site access shall be limited through established roadways. Traffic shall be routed to site avoiding residential areas as far as it is practicable. Majority of construction vehicles shall be restricted to designated parking areas. Parking regulations shall be established and enforced. All road surfaces shall be maintained in safe and passable conditions. Vehicle washing facilities shall be provided on site. Environmental friendly practices. Following all permit and environmental mitigation requirements. Follow all permit and environmental mitigation requirements. That's first practice. Stay within project boundary. Watch for and avoid flagged exclusion zones on site. Leave wildlife and vegetation alone. Conduct with care project activities that can affect wildlife and vegetation. To avoid unnecessary disturbance, do not dump waste in streams, ponds, lakes, rivers, wetlands, natural drainages, or other sensitive areas. Implement and maintain erosion control and stormwater measures as appropriate, such as drainage ditches and trenches to divert flows away from active work areas. Structures to prevent situation from reaching surface waters and sedimentation ponds to settle out stormwater particulates, particles. Place drip pans under all standing mobile equipment. Respond to spills by stopping source. Respond to spills by stopping source of spills and immediately notifying your supervisor. Contain spill and clean it up using absorbent materials. Do not rinse spill away. Document and report the type, quantity of spilled material, date, time, and cause of spill, and clean up as required. Maintain equipment in proper operating condition. Stockpile overburden, spoil, and fill at least 50 feet or 15 to 20 meters from surface water and wetland whenever possible. Recycle treated wastewater to be used as dust control if allowed and wherever practicable. Avoid using oil as a dust suppressant. Store wastes in properly designated areas. Label all containers accurately. Store hazardous waste securely in closed containers. Ship hazardous waste to appropriate treatment and disposal facilities complying with local requirements. Do not burn anything except untreated wood. Recycle, reuse welding rods, used batteries, use oil, solvents, paints, paper, glass, and scrap wood or metal where required and as much as possible. Immediately stop work and notify your supervisor if human remains or archaeological artifacts are found. Immediately stop work and notify your supervisor if contaminated soil, unusual coloration or odor, or underground storage tanks are discovered. Ask your supervisors or environment safety and health representative if you have other questions. This is about this chapter, which is of course very interesting. I'll move on to next one, and that is chapter 23, exhaust control. Exhaust control. This was hmm, scope, purpose, definitions, responsibilities, instructions, references, achievements. Procedure is applicable to all projects, construction site activities. And purpose, to establish procedure for systematically identifying all hazardous risks associated with a task or job and to implement appropriate required control measures. This study is applicable to all activities involved on project, including temporary works, preparatory works, permanent works, handling works, producible or deliverable works, such as deep excavations, civil buildings, erections, piping, electrical, mechanical, heat ventilation, and air conditioning, external works, interconnections, processing areas, non-processing areas, indoor areas, activities, etc. Before going further, I just explained to you so that be clear what about this, not in this text, but this my own experience. What's a temporary work? What is permanent work? What's preparatory work? What is permanent work, and what are handling works, etc., etc. You have to understand this too well. What is temporary work? Very good question. What is preparatory work? Temporary work is work that all which is removed after doing work. For example, we are using scaffolding. We are putting some steps, some stairs, something that will actually support something else. That is temporary. Scaffolding is temporary, ladders is temporary, some access is temporary, something which makes some way to do preparatory work. That's all temporary work. You put something there, some route, some diversion, some traffic control, some this, all those are temporary. And preparatory works are those which are supporting the permanent works. For example, shuttering, this fixing, shuttering, all activities involved in shuttering, all activities involved in fabrication of reinforcement, all others that are required to carry out certain activities of permanent work. And that is preparatory work. Because preparatory work, and you can say erection of scaffolding, below system of slab is the, you can say, a part of preparatory work. But that scaffolding, which is just to access to some location, is temporary work. So preparatory work is involved with every activity in every discipline. It's not only construction, all other disciplines. Preparatory works are required, temporary works are required, then permanent work. So this permanent work which is going to be installed or is going to be included on project forever, that's called permanent work. For example, you may say reinforced concrete slab is a permanent work, beams, casting is a permanent work, beams and other framing is permanent work. All activities in all disciplines which are paid, which constitute that mechanism of that structure or that project, that's called permanent work, which is going to be used for the targeted service of the project, which are used for services, they are used for being component of that building or that machine forever. That is permanent work. And then handling works, etc. So you just have to understand what I mean to say. So you can say deliverables on project for which payment is made are permanent works. No separate payment is made for temporary works. No separate payment is made for preparatory works. Payment is made to contractor or whosoever is involved for delivery of permanent works, part of contract. So let's go further to definitions. Definitions regarding certain terms. I have spoken this before, but let's repeat for one time better. Safety means safety, health, and environment. Disciplines to support the project activities. Company means who are companies there. Organization carrying out the prosecution of project. And contractor means organization that has one project from client. Subcontractor means an organization that has one part of a project work from contractor organization. And client means an organization entitled company in contractual term that has entrusted project to organization of contractor. Personnel means all the personnel involved on project site activities. Responsibility means job and contract responsibility. Training means training imparted for specific safety topic on job or project site. Management means organization top, middle, and lower management. Safety manager means a person with job title safety manager deployed by certain organization. Project manager means a person as such with PM title deployed by contractor. Engineer means a person appointed by client or client company for an overall project responsibility. Project engineer, employer, owner, engineer it is. Safety task analysis risk reduction talk. Start it is called STARRT. Start STARRT. Safety task analysis risk reduction talk. Repeat. Safety task safety task analysis risk reduction talk. You have to talk about safety analysis, where safety is involved, and how to reduce that risk. Safety, task analysis, and risk reduction talks. This is called START, STARRT. A process that utilizes employees, personnel to identify and resolve environmental, safety, and health hazards associated with a task prior to its being performed. Again, I say a process that utilizes employees, personnel to identify and resolve environmental, safety, and health hazards associated with a task prior to its being performed. We'll details later on. And then job hazard analysis, JHA. It identifies key job steps, tools, equipment, potential environmental, safety and health hazards, hazard control practices, required personal protection equipment, personal protection equipment PPE for larger, more complex and usually repetitive jobs. It is prepared by a team normally consisting of representative from environmental, safety and health department, employee supervisors and field engineering representatives. Task activity. Task activity, a specific activity or subpart of a job, that is installing a pipe hanger, building a concrete form, or installing electrical power to a fabrication area. Hazard control sheets, a series of risk assessment sheets used for assisting line supervision in developing START or JHA process. START as a safety task analysis and RRT's risk reduction technique and GSA's job. This is, as I said before, job hazard analysis. So hazard control sheets are reflection of those two major start and JHA techniques. Responsibilities in general respecting certain contract positions. Again, I'm telling you this positions as I told before, but in one talk at least once time I repeat that. Project manager who is responsible for overall obligations to provide schedule, all resources, direction, engineering resolutions. Site manager responsible for overall site prosecution, management over works and subcontractors. Site safety officer responsible for overall safety management on site and report to project manager, site manager, corporate safety manager. Construction manager responsible to arrange all safety related resources and provide site team all requirements. Project site engineer responsible to carry out safety issues within section. Site safety inspector engineer responsible to supervise safety measures on site and control safety issues should bring to site line management to adopt correct measures. Site foreman responsible for compliance of safety measures as standards or as directed. An individual working on site responsible to maintain safety measures in case missing should bring to site team attention. Then responsibilities. So I done it, spoken it before, but once again, for not waste time, responsible the site manager ensure that this procedure is being applied for control of all activities through EPC contractor, supervision and subcontractors management, health safety and environment supervisor manager is responsible for development of this procedure and monitoring compliance. Site manager, civil or other discipline contractor shall ensure that sufficient resources are provided to implement this procedure and that procedure is understood as well as applied in conformities. Site superintendent, supervision and subcontractor shall be thoroughly familiar with this procedure on their individual responsibilities regarding implementation and enforcement, shall carry out regular inspections daily within their work areas to ensure that requirements under this procedure are being complied with or followed. Instructions. Guidelines for start. Subcontractors' supervision shall ensure employees' involvement with start process by ensuring that all employees under control are trained in start process. Establishing a system to follow up with all crews to verify start process is being correctly implemented. Requiring employees requiring employees to participate with an individual start review prior to start of each shift for each new task. Start. Safety task analysis, risk reduction testing. Start, I told you. Supervisors shall discuss hazards relating to project facility with employees to compile information necessary to complete start count. Supervisors shall discuss hazards relating to project facility with employees to compile information necessary to complete start card. Upon completion of start card, supervisors shall review requirements of card with employees performing work and supervisor sign cards. Cards shall be translated into common workers' language and displayed for review within immediate work area. The start cards are to be returned to supervisor and forwarded to contractors, safety supervisor's office as appropriate at end of each shift or completion of work activities. Supervisor is responsible for ensuring that cards are properly completed, signed, and returned. Start cards should be reviewed for proper uses, completion by health, safety, and environment supervisor, and recorded on file in contractor's HSE office. Guideline for Job Hazard Analysis JHU. Sorry. JHA may be included as part of a work. GHA may be included as a part of a work plan, work package. Requirements of GHA may be incorporated into hazardous work permits, HWP, as well as project facility specific HSE plans as appropriate. GHA of specific jobs GHA of specific jobs or operations is required for, but not limited to these points, these only. You know. High risk jobs, new jobs or tasks that present unspecified or unknown hazards. Jobs or tasks involving new equipment, machinery, or procedures. Major jobs categories that shall be repeated frequently. Jobs or tasks that have historically jobs or tasks that have historically experienced a repeated or significant rate of accidents, injuries, exposures, or near misses. Jobs involving environmental remedy of hazardous waste. Jobs or tasks that in professional the judgment of responsible HSE representative requiring formal JHA. So these are certain classes. Let us repeat. A job health, a job hazard analysis JHA of specific jobs or operations is required for but not limited to these categories. High risk jobs, new jobs or tasks that present unspecified or unknown hazards. Jobs or tasks involving new component, new equipment, machinery, or procedures. Major job categories that shall be repeated frequently. Jobs or tasks that have historically experienced repeated or significant rate of accidents, injuries, exposures, or near misses. Jobs involving environmental remedy of hazardous wastes. Jobs or tasks that in professional judgment of responsible health, safety, and environment representative requiring formal JHA job hazard analysis. Jobs or tasks are broken down into a series of successive steps or activities. Required or anticipated tools and equipment for each step or activity are to be included. All potential hazards within each step or activity are identified, include hazard and categories in JHA. That is what? Chemical exposures. Job hazards, these are categories concerned. Uh, we are identifying categories, and that is chemical exposures. Chemical exposures, oxygen deficiency, chemical exposures, oxygen deficiencies, exposures to ionizing and non-ionizing radiation, electrical hazards, physical hazards, fire and explosion, temperature extremes, excessive noise, biological hazards. So these are a chemical exposure, oxygen deficiency, exposure to ionizing and non-ionizing radiation, electrical hazards, physical hazards, fire and explosion, temperature extremes, excessive noise, biological hazards. Input should be solicited from multiple disciplinary professional staff for hazard evaluation. This input should include safety, industrial hygiene, health physics, and engineering personnel. After all known respected or potential hazards have been identified, and after all known suspected or potential hazards have been identified and accident experiences revealed, a plan must be developed, giving solutions to eliminate further or control hazards. Elimination or control of hazard should be implemented first by engineering methods, then by administrative methods, and at least by proper use of personal protective equipment, PPE. Guidelines for using hazard control sheets. Guidelines for using hazard control sheets. Hazard control sheets applicable to a work activity shall be used as a reference on developing a START card. Safety task analysis risk reduction technique is called START. START card or a specific job hazard analysis. In circumstances where a START card or JHA job hazard analysis are not deemed necessary, then hazard control sheet may be used as a guideline for conducting a task team task by supervision to respective employees. References are HSE procedures and attachments are START card, job hazard analysis, and control program sheets. Now, there are some attachments I'll go to speak about. The safety task analysis, risk reduction talk, START STARRT card, safety task analysis, risk reduction talk, START card. What is START card? There's a title, for example, let us say, I'll put this there on a video, but I'm just explaining by narration. And let us first table is SUI supervisor, what's date, job description, preliminary hazards, risks, location. These are nominal. I repeat, supervisor, who is supervisor, what is date, job description details, primary hazard risks and location. These are common. Then let us go one by one. I'll speak. This is discipline. For example, electrical, there's a yes, no, not applicable. Like this is a table. Let's say electrical. It says locked and tagged. These three you have to fill yes, no, Y, N, or NA. Then try and test. Disconnected. This is in electrical, for example. Then go to excavation. Sure or better. What type of that? Ladder provided in excavation or not? Daily inspection. Entry permit. Hazards body. Fall potential. Pinch points. Electrical shock. Housekeeping. Slip trap. Flying particles. Thermal burns. Manual lifting. Sharp object. Permits. Hot work permit. These are hot work names of permit. Then confined space. Braking process. Excavation certificate. Access the critical life plan personal basket. Emergency equipment. Fire extinguisher, safety shower, eye wash, permit displayed, all conditions met, evacuation of these risky people, the assembly areas, hazards, environmental, airborne particles, you can say vapors, you can say hot cold surfaces, hot cold materials, noise, heat, stress. So you have to check in Y and NA. Proper equipment. Man lift, personal basket, forklift, GLO lift, GLG lift, crane, chain fall, hand tools, power tools, hood conditions, operator certificates, proper rigging, current inspection, trucks, tractors, etc. Overhead works or floor opening. Fixed barricades, tape, danger, tape, caution, barriers, signs, hole, cover plate, handrails, toe bolts. Process for equipment. Process equipment. Valves locked, tags hung, blind installed and tagged, proofed, standby person, confined space, fire watch, sandblast person, traffic watch, welding. Welding, shields, fire blanket, fire extinguisher, cylinders secured, combustibles, moved sparks contained. Hazardous are chemical, say. MSDs reviewed chemical burn, skin, eye irritant, inhalations, inhalation, personal protective equipment. These are what I'm saying. This means this just can say GHA. What gloves? Personal protective equipment, chemical gloves, anti-vibration gloves, wet suits, foot guards, rubber boots, monogoggles, face shield, fresh air, ear protection, safety markers. Once again, hmm, work gloves, chemical gloves, anti-vibration gloves, wet suits, foot guards, rubber boots, monogoggles, face shield, fresh air, ear protection, safety HR harness, burning goggles, hard hat, safety glasses, hard hat, safety glasses, repair.